Intermountain, Columbia Plateau, Great Basin, and Southwest. Between the Pacific Coast Ranges to the west and the Rocky Mountains to the east lies a broad belt of land known as the Intermountain region, literally between the mountains. Two plateaus, the Columbia in the north and the Colorado in the south, surround a lower central region. This depression, called the Great Basin, is surrounded by higher elevations and mountains on all sides. Mountains on the east and west sides block most precipitation year-round, although winter snowfalls are not uncommon at higher elevations. On the northern plateau, the Columbia River provided ample water and fish for the hunters and gatherers who lived there. Most groups split into small bands to hunt and gather seasonally, coming together in riverbank villages for the annual salmon harvest. Deer, caribou, elk, and small game lived in the scattered forests, where wild berries and fruit were abundant. The Modoc and the Nez Perce roamed this land, making camp near seasonal food sources. Although they lived in winter pit houses dug into the ground, these groups were highly mobile, using tent-like teepees that could be put up and torn down in less than an hour during the warmer seasons. To the south, the Great Basin cultures enjoyed none of the advantages of their northern neighbors. They lived in a harsh environment with few natural resources, little rainfall, no significant rivers, and extremes of temperature, all of which combined to limit population growth. In the lands that are now Nevada and Utah, the Utes and the Shoshone, living in small extended families, traveled from highland to lowland camps with the changing seasons. They hunted upland antelope and collected pine nuts in the fall. In the summer, women and children gathered swarming grasshoppers for food. The entire community cooperated to hunt the most prized prey, the jackrabbit, by driving the creatures into camouflaged nets. The jackrabbit's meat provided food, and its skin provided warm fur for winter clothing. In the southwest, the first Americans built pueblos from dried mud brick for protection from the desert sun. Although the region is arid, irrigation, begun by the Ancestral Pueblo and continued by later peoples, allowed large communities to grow. The Hopi Pueblo people, thought to be direct descendants of the Ancestral Pueblo, lived in the high, flat mesas where the Colorado Plateau descends from the Rockies into the desert. Sometime between AD 1100 to 1500, Apache and Navajo invaders from Canada drove them from fertile river valleys and onto higher ground for protection. The Navajo, who traditionally call themselves Diné, which means the people, settled throughout the Southwest. They farmed, herded sheep, introduced to North America by the Spanish, and wove brilliantly colored blankets from their wool. In time, they also became the region's foremost artisans of silver and turquoise. In the present-day United States, the Navajo make up one of the most populous groups of Native Americans and live primarily in New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. The Navajo raised sheep and used the wool to weave colorful blankets, a tradition they are still known for today. This wearing blanket dates from 1860,